Johnny Kitagawa was the boss of Johnny's Entertainment, the company to which most of Japan's male idols belong, but he passed away in 2019. After his death, his history of sexually assaulting aspiring idols over several decades was revealed, and his empire collapsed. Hi, this is Netero. Numerous cases of sexual harassment of young boys have been reported throughout world history, but this case is unprecedented in its number and duration. Almost one old man accomplished this. In addition to his power, this stage also takes into account various external factors and the unique Japanese temperament. I will dig deeper as a Japanese insider. The focus this time is why his brutal acts were left unaddressed, and why the huge empire collapsed. This time I will unravel the story from three perspectives: the victim, the perpetrator, and the bystander. The victims were the boy and the boy's parents. The perpetrators were Mr. Johnny Kitagawa's sister Mary Kitagawa, office staff, media outlets such as television stations and newspapers, and the bystanders were lots of Japanese people. The evidence will be omitted here and there, and the discussion will be the focus. If you need it, please search on Google. Victim boy and his parents, how could they not refuse? Several boys fell victim each day, and this continued for approximately 60 years. Everyone joins the agency with the dream of becoming a star. Still in their early teens, they believe that their future will be determined by Johnny's help. By the way, Mr. Johnny's favorite was a boy who came from far away to practice in Tokyo and who also had a single parent. They wanted to help their families but were afraid of causing trouble to them. Also, a former Johnny's victim said that she was too embarrassed to tell anyone that he had been sexually assaulted. Mr. Johnny invites the boys to his home and commits the act, and the next morning he gives him a tip of about $100. It may seem like a small amount, but it's a lot of money to them. Furthermore, Mr. Johnny's actions were well known among Johnny's boy idols. It is extremely difficult to fight against a reality that is tacitly accepted by a group. Mr. Johnny is a strategist who takes advantage of the Japanese people's fear of breaking away from groups from various angles. He is Japanese American. By the way, I often saw Mr. Johnny's favorite idols praising him on TV after he became a star. I don't know if he doesn't feel that sexual acts are harm, if he accepts them as mere expressions of love, or if he's been brainwashed. Perpetrator. After the death of Mr. Johnny, several years passed, and his misdeeds were gradually exposed. However, it's not accurate to say that Johnny's brutal actions were completely ignored until the recent uproar. His deeds were brought to light multiple times through weekly magazine exposés in the 1960s and tell-all books by former Johnny's associates. Yet, none of these revelations penetrated the public consciousness due to media concealment, including television stations and newspapers. This was due to the deference shown to the immensely powerful Johnnies. Conversely, when Weekly Bunshin lost a lawsuit in 2002, it became widespread news. Incidentally, when accused of lewd conduct in the past, Mr. Johnny's influential sister, Ms. Mary Kitagawa, said, "I will make sure to cover it up properly." This statement seems to encapsulate everything. Johnny committed sexual offenses persistently, even in the toilets of various television stations, including the national broadcaster NHK. There's no way these stations were unaware. Bystander. Over the past few decades, there have been numerous reports of sexual victimization that many Japanese people must have come across. There isn't anyone who can dismiss these instances of sexual abuse as not a big deal. Such incidents should be met with disgust, and those responsible should be held accountable. However, many individuals did not take action. This can be attributed to the Japanese tendency to prioritize personal well-being over larger societal issues. It's an attitude of, if it doesn't concern me, I don't care. Or, if it doesn't inconvenience me, I don't want to get involved. Whether it's the media or large corporations at their core, they consist of individual human beings whose conservative inclinations can sway their decisions. It can be asserted that Japan's unique elements of exclusion have led to major problems being sidelined. The collapse of the Johnny's empire. The dismantling of Johnny's Entertainment, which began with Mr. Johnny's passing, is indeed a fact. But why did it crumble so swiftly? Even though there was a sequence of United Nations interventions initiated by BBC broadcasts, it didn't create a significant impact in Japan, a somewhat information-controlled island nation. BBC documentaries aired in countries like the United States and South Korea, but they didn't lead to major consequences. After all, Japan is essentially a close-knit community on an isolated island. Regardless of how much noise the external world makes, without internal movement, nothing changes. Despite international outcry, due to government and media information control, public consensus isn't easily achieved. However, triggered by a series of revelations, There was a sudden surge in news coverage and restrictions on Johnny's talents appearing in TV shows and commercials. The power dynamics that had previously kept things under control changed dramatically. Despite Mr. Johnny's passing, the company continued to operate, and its cozy relationships with the media and corporations were presumed to be as strong as ever. One conceivable hypothesis is that the catalyst for this destruction came from within. The following is a list of highly probable hypotheses. The presence of Hideaki Takizawa. Hideaki Takizawa, a wildly popular idol, was so highly regarded for his skills that he transitioned from being a celebrity to working behind the scenes as the vice president of an agency. This was during Johnny Kitagawa's lifetime. He was Johnny's favorite and was considered the official successor. He produced numerous idol groups, leading them to success, but left the agency due to conflicts with the president, Julie Kitagawa. Afterward, he established his own company similar to Mini Johnny's, and active idols from Johnny's agency started migrating one after another. Once the initial commotion settled, the dismantling process began. Considering he knew the inner workings best, it's challenging not to consider his involvement. The presence of Ms. Iijima, the formidable manager. Ms. Iijima was responsible for nurturing SMAP, Japan's iconic idol group that disbanded in 2016. While the stated reason was internal factional strife, she left the group, allegedly pushed out by Ms. Mary Kitagawa, and then founded a new group with 3 of the original 5 members.
Could these 4 highly capable individuals who were gaining influence in the entertainment industry be unrelated to this case?
Japanese people are a very determined ethnicity and will always see their revenge through to the end. The following is a list of important additional supplementary information. Victims Association. By the way, the Victims Association has been gradually becoming suspicious. This group was formed to condemn Johnny Kitagawa, focusing on men aged 30 to 50 who suffered sexual abuse in their youth. Former victims have been leaving one after another since Johnny's agency's situation became uncertain, transforming the association into a group primarily interested in making money rather than questioning Johnny's agency's ethics. Consequently, those who sense a gap between the initial goal of wanting to reclaim stolen pasts and the current state are withdrawing. It's undesirable because if the victim's side loses public support by becoming vulgar, it elevates the relative position of the perpetrator. Once people in groups are given even a small right, they tend to forget their inherent caution, and the victims become the perpetrators. Inheritance tax. By the way, Mary's daughter, Julie Kitagawa, inherited 100% of Johnny's agency's shares. She hasn't easily dismantled the company, despite intense public criticism due to massive estate tax planning involving hundreds of millions of dollars. According to Japanese law, the company must continue for 5 years after the predecessor's death to qualify for tax exemption. New executives. 2 former idols have been appointed as successors to Johnny's agency. Even if I consider it, I can't shake off the feeling of insufficiency in their roles. They might just be pawns. The media and fan clubs will likely paint a heroic tale, but if the nation can find happiness in believing it, then lies serve a purpose. Closed societies always need idols. However, I can't help but feel sorry for the 2 sacrificial figures burdened by this immense pressure. Farewell gathering. By the way, Johnny's farewell event was grandly held at the Tokyo Dome, organized by Johnny's members. And during the funeral, then Prime Minister himself sent a condolence message. Enthusiastic fans. Johnny's agency has been supported by numerous passionate fans. Although mainly women of different age groups, they invest their all in supporting idols. Their passion is tremendous. They tend to possess idols entirely and generally try to crush their idols' romantic relationships. The dubious nature of the Victims of Sexual Violence Association that surfaced this time is also likely due to their threatening information network, which might rival the CIA's. Moreover, from their perspective, this significant social issue might serve as perfect material to imagine the sexual aspects of idols. In Japanese comic culture, there's something called boys' love, where characters often resemble Johnny's idols. Incidentally, some Johnny's idol plush toys have removable pants, revealing their private parts. In the obscured world of sexual content, there's room for imagination and enjoyment. It's something like this. Thank you for watching. Until next time.